Hello, Juggalettes, Juggalos, subscribers, people that want to watch me make a complete jackass of myself. It's your boy Furbs here. Now, this video is going to be about my experiences, for lack of a better term, with paranormal activities. I believe in ghosts. I personally am a Wiccan. I worship nature. I believe that everything has a point of being here. And I also believe there are things that are here in this world. Not that they shouldn't be here, because with all good has to have evil. But they're too powerful. Now, I've seen ghosts since I was a little baby juggalo that didn't even know what the hell ICP was. I remember seeing him at my parents' house, but the most memorable events that I ever had as far as paranormal activity goes, that, excluding my earlier video from Iraq, which there will be another video because it was way more than what I said happened that happened. But other than that, my most memorable moments were living at my grandma Lovey and my granddaddy Oscar's house. Those were my dad's parents. They lived about, say, 20 minutes away, so we got to go over there occasionally. But there was one point in time where my mom and my dad, they had gotten in a fight. She kicked him out. I didn't want to stay with her because, as far as I was concerned, my mom was a bitch. Sorry, Mama. But back then, that's how I felt, and I felt Daddy was the cool guy. We could go fishing with him. He'd give me cigarettes when I was like 12. But I knew that if I went with him, I got to go see my grandma Lovey and my granddad Oscar, who loved me and my little brother to death. Well, for some odd reason, I don't remember why, but my dad ended up taking me with him to go there, and he left my little brother and my sister with my mom. I never understood it. He wouldn't remember it now. He's too old and he drinks too much. But I remember the way the sleeping arrangements were. This was an old house. Like, the old houses you see that they've got to be haunted. And there's no way anybody could ever live there. That would just be insanity if somebody lived there. That being said, obviously someone did live there. My grandmother and my grandfather lived there because it was very cheap rent. And the rules of the house basically went like this. You could have anything you wanted in the fridge. Didn't matter what it was. If you were freaking 9 years old and you wanted to go get a freaking Coors Light out the bottom of the fridge, you can go get it. Just don't let them see you drink it. I never did that because beer's nasty. But the other rule was, when Granddaddy said lights out, lights went out. I was scared shitless of the dark. So I'd go run to the bathroom, come back in, they'd cut the lights off, I'd go to bed. Well, my dad, he had to go to work about 5 o'clock in the morning. He was working days at the time at a law mill. Well, he woke me up before he left, and why he did this, I don't know. It was mean. It was horrible. But he proceeds to tell me, "Don't get out of the bed, boy. There's a troll under that bed, boy. You get out from that bed, troll's arms, gonna reach out and snatch you under. Ain't nobody ever gonna see you again." So, of course, I didn't go back to sleep after he left. I just laid there freaking the hell out. Well, as I'm laying there, I start hearing creaking noises, and not like moans or anything, just like somebody walking, and I'm like, what the f-? All of a sudden, the blankets get snatched off me. I'm sitting like, huh? And I look around, I'm hoping it's like my granddad playing a prank, because he always used to pick on me or pick on the kids just because he thought it was funny. Which, if it had been him, it would have been funny. But I called out, and no one answered. Well, the next thing I know, the bed, which, let me just tell you, this bed was at least, it was full solid oak. Old bed, solid frame, heavy ass mattress. There's no way somebody could pick it up and shake it like it did. It rose up off the bed. This was some fucking poltergeist shit. I'm freaking the fuck out. The bed falls on the ground. It slams. Dust flies everywhere. I dive out of bed. I go running. And the way it was is if I took a right, I could go and get my granddad. Which he was right there. So I was safe. Running to my granddad's room. He's not there. There's nobody in the bed. Well, in his bedroom, if you took a left, there was my grandma's bedroom. Don't know why they didn't sleep in the same room, but old people. Ran in there, didn't see her. The next room was the bathroom. And right beside the bathroom, this was a 2-story house, right beside the bathroom was the stairs. Well, I look in the bathroom, and I see somebody walking up the stairs. I was always told never to go upstairs, so I was like, okay, I must have been imagining this. And I started calming myself down. Still didn't know where my grandma was. Maybe she had gone upstairs, but all lights were out, and I wasn't about to cut them on, because I didn't want to get yelled at. Well, I decided, well, if Granddad's not in his bed, I'll just go lay in his bed. At least nothing is making his bed move. Well, I calmed myself down, and I thought I was brave. I was like, I'm good now. I got this. I got this. I go to walk in my granddad's room, and out of nowhere, I hear, boy, what the hell are you doing up? And I look over at my granddad's bed, and the way my granddad was, he was so skinny, and he was old, he was getting sick. In the dark shadows, I swear to fucking God, there was a skeleton sitting in my granddad's bed, yelling at me, what the fuck are you doing out of bed? Out of it? Ah! Oh, shit! No! No! And then he cut the light on and bitch slapped me. And then I told him what happened, and he made me crawl in the bed with him, and he held me and calmed me down. And the next day, that same day, my dad came back, and I don't know what was said, but I remember very clearly my granddad going outside telling me to stay in the living room, and he went and talked to my dad and told my dad he needed to go ahead and take me back to our house, and that was supposed to be that. Well, fast forward about a year, my mom and her dad, who owned the land that we were living on, got in an argument. The families, it was us, Grandma and Granddad, or my mom's mom and dad, and our Aunt Connie and her Uncle Keith and her husband and their kids. They all got in a fight. We all had to move out. Of all places we had to move out too, because we had nowhere else to go. We moved back to Grandma Lovey and Granddad Oscar's house. The same house that I got the crap scared out of me almost literally. Well, they wouldn't let us stay in the room that I stayed in where all the stuff happened. So we had to go upstairs where I was told I was never allowed to go. And there was, I believe, three bedrooms up there. I never went around messing around with the other stuff in the other rooms because I didn't want to get yelled at. But I remember me, my dad, my mom, and my little brother all slept up in the same room. And my sister, she slept down on the couch. Well, we also had a dog. Her name was Sheba. I love that dog to death. I wish she hadn't passed away. But we're laying there in bed. My mom's gone off to sleep. My dad's passed out drunk. The window slammed shut by itself, and I jumped, and everybody else stayed asleep, and I was like, okay, whatever. It was just the wind, old house. That stuff always happens. Well, I started to doze off, and then for some odd reason I snapped awake, and I was like, oh, I thought I was tired. And I look over at the door, and the door handle's jiggling. It's just like somebody's just trying to open it, but they can't. Only problem was there was no lock on the door, so I mean, if somebody was actually trying to open the door to tell us something or ask us something, they should have been able to walk right in. Well, I nudged my dad. I'm like, Daddy, wake the fuck up. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I pointed over the door, and he sees it. He's like, oh, it's probably just your granddaddy playing a prank. You know he loves to do that. Or maybe it's grandma. And he's like, hey, old man, can you stop doing that? And the door handle stopped for about a minute or so. And then it started going back. more violent than ever. It was crazy. It was just like, if it had gone any harder, I swear the door handle would have popped off. And then the door just went just enough to where you could see the moonlight from the window outside the room coming in. You could see a shadow. My dad jumps up and he swings the door open. No one's there. He runs downstairs, asks his dad, asks my granddad, "Hey, Daddy, were you upstairs knocking on the door?" And he's like, "Boy, I'm trying to sleep. I'm 60 some odd years old and you still won't let me sleep, you little. Go away." So then my dad goes and asks my grandma. Grandma's like, "No, I wasn't up there. The house is haunted. You already know this." We got up, packed all our stuff up. My mom called her family members, apologized for everything she ever said, and we moved right back into to our house. Well, that's two stories that I agree might not be the most scariest thing in the world, but at the age I was, holy shit, I was scared shitless. Anyway, that's it for this week of Ghost Stories. Check out the episode next week, and it should be, I believe I'm going to tell y'all about the stories of my parents' actual trailer that we moved back into to escape the ghost. That didn't really work out so well. But more on that next time. Stay tuned. Come back and watch it. Same bat time, same bat channel. Much cloud love.